Best Medicine Podcast with Simba. Sparking positive change in the community. Having real conversations and therapy. And you know that laughter's the best remedy. Got that heavy dose of humor for your hearts to heal. With mental health, it can't get any more real, yeah. Best Medicine Podcast. Laugh, love, learn. Best Medicine Podcast.
And we back. Best Man Pod. This is The Diagnosis. It's your man Simba Roar back in this thing one more time, bruh. And I have another special guest. When I tell you, when you listen to this show, all you need to know is that I have special guests. Well, I got another one for you now. This young lady right here is someone who, when I was going to school, waiting at the 12 bus, she was coming out the crib, hopping in mom's car. 30 minutes later, I know he was late, but 30 minutes later, when I was at school, she was at school. We went to the same school. She a year below me. This is somebody who I saw, not personally, but I just watched the growth and the evolution from, social media and things like that. But every time we saw each other, it was all love, because that's what it is.
Always.
This young lady is directly impacting Oakland, California. North Oakland, California. Putting us on.
That's right.
Like I said, an Ice City legend is in the building today. Welcome, Miss Bree Decker.
What's happening?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you for being here.
You got me blushing with my chocolates and stuff. Got me.
You know who I learned intros from?
Who?
Sway.
So, there you
Another
go.
town legend.
I said there you go. Town
Another
legend.
town
Of course.
legend.
Game recognized game. That's the man right there, Sway Calloway.
Yeah. So if I can even have. If my intros could be as half as dope as the
Sway, you on it. I say you on it.
I'm working on it.
You on it. Mm-hmm.
So Bree, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. It's Friday.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm Friday. You didn't humble me and honor me and come in here setting up this whole little podcast thing.
Yeah.
I'm blessed.
Okay.
Blessed. How you doing?
I'm great, man. I just, I'm actually working with the middle school right now, and on Fridays, Wednesday through Fridays at this point, we're doing a music class.
Okay.
So I'm teaching them how to make music. I'm teaching them how to write music, how to produce, how to engineer, things like that.
That's some transferable skill sets right there.
Yeah, I'm telling them, I'm trying to get these kids, because I work middle school and then I work at a high school as well.
Okay.
So I tutor at the high school.
It's the future.
Exactly.
It's the future.
So I'm trying to get these kids to a point where I know everybody's saying, go straight to college, go straight to college, just do it.
If they live, if that's what's for them.
I'm trying to show these kids that there's more and different ways, different avenues to go about it, or to go about their education. A couple days ago, I had the pleasure of helping this young lady who she told me exactly what she wanted to do. She said, I want to open my own hair shop.
Okay.
I said, cool. How? So, what, you want to go to cosmetology school? She said, yeah. I sat with her for an hour and a half, searching cosmetology schools. Found one close to her. Found one to where she doesn't even have to take out a loan.
Ooh, that's clutch.
Because they say we don't want our students taking out loans.
Right.
We have payment plans. We have different. We do your FAFSA. And you can pay. And then after you graduate, before you graduate, we'll put you in an externship program so you can be making money before you graduate.
That's clutch.
And then you'll be working there after you graduate.
That's clutch.
So you can pay us back instantly.
That's clutch, because they let them make youth work for free.
Exactly.
Nothing free.
Exactly.
Nothing free.
Exactly.
They want you to have experience, to have work experience, but they don't want to pay you.
Right.
But you need work experience to get more work.
Right.
So that's
right.
That's beautiful.
If I'm 17, 18 years old,
that's promising.
What experience can I get at that point?
Exactly.
Other than maybe my mom or something, or
exactly,
auntie
or
used to
you know,
do hair.
Like,
I'm braiding my cousin's hair, but y'all don't even count that type of experience. I can't put that on a resume.
Especially if it's not credentialed or stuff like that. That's amazing. Right on, baby girl. That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, and I hope she does it.
Well, I hope she do too.
So, I've known you for a long time.
Go back.
But I've never asked this question. Who is Bree Decker?
Who is Bree? Bree, man. I'm a believer, man. I'm a believer.
Okay.
I'm a believer. I'm a person of service. I'm a person of faith.
That's important.
I'm a person about Oakland. Like anybody who know me know that I love my city. I'm truly adaptable to many different kind of communities when it comes to Oakland. Just because Oakland. When I think of Oakland, I think of culture. I think of just a diversity.
Right.
And I really love my city because of that. And I feel like that base of just being from Oakland and most importantly being a believer and a person of faith, that's really like has shaped, given me like the biggest just picture of what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm led to do, what I'm supposed to conquer. And that's Bree the believer, Bree the person of service, and
you a Breeliever?
I'm a Bree. Ooh, I like that. That's clever. I like that.
That's the title of this episode.
I say Breeliever. That's cool. Ooh, I see what you did there. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm simple yet complex.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Pretty simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, where are we right now?
Where are we? We
location.
We in the heart of Oakland. Some would say. Most will say. I would say downtown Oakland, not too far from Lake Merritt. We're at my job. I have a privilege of working for the Urban Strategies Council.
Okay.
We're a community-based intermediary based in Oakland. I tell my youth, like, just without the fancy words and stuff, we're the connect. You know, we're the liaison. We're the folks who bring folks together. We do a very special service in that we don't offer a direct service. When you think of nonprofits and you know, just a nonprofit in general, you think of going somewhere and them helping you get a job, or them helping you get some food stamps, or them helping you get in school or something like that. We offer a service of bringing people together in a unique way to where we strive for equity. So everybody's on the platform due to them, but they're all kind of work together to serve our community, and that's the Urban Strategies Council. We've been around since 1987, created by the great Angela Glover Blackwell. We just celebrated our 30th anniversary a couple years ago, and we the connect. We the connect when it comes to the folks on the ground, and I mean that, you know, in quotes, because you know, folks in the trenches are some of the most important folks, because we wouldn't be having issues, or we wouldn't be actually fighting for things if it wasn't for our folks in the trenches.
Give me an example of a connect.
A connect. Totally. So right now, I'm gonna give a quick example. We're working with the city of Oakland right now to create the Department of Violence Prevention. And what's amazing about that is that we have a component of it it's called a Community Participatory Action Research Project, and that pretty much enables a lot of our Oakland, not a lot of them, but a subset of our Oakland community members to be their own researchers in this work on how we can shape a department that's sponsored by the city of Oakland, that's going to be held at the city of Oakland, to really change how we experience violence and how we understand and try to prevent violence, and especially in a place like Oakland. And that connect was huge because we're working with the city of Oakland, we're working with council members, we're working with, you know, city of Oakland, you know, folks, bureaucrats, for lack of better words, but we also bringing in folks who's been, you know, victims of crimes, whether unfortunately domestic abuse, whether homicide, you know, whatever spectrum they might fall under. We bring those folks together from quote unquote both sides, because we're all in this together, to really advocate for changes. You know, we've come to find out that from city staff to council members to the folks who are doing the community research project, everybody's experienced a similar type of hurt when it comes to violence. And so the more that we can understand that we all are facing some of the same things, the better we can work together to have a function in our city that best serves us.
I think that's the key, because a lot of the times we feel like our pain is isolated.
We do.
We feel like, why me? Why is this happening to me? This is only happening to me. I can't take this. Mm-hmm. But if you walk outside and say, hey, has anybody out here felt these feelings? Mm-hmm. A lot of people would be like me. Exactly. They're being honest.
And honestly, that's why I mentioned I'm a believer. I don't shy away from the fact I'm a Christian. I believe in God, not the religious type, but the word type. To go from the Bible to me hearing it, to me believing it, to me reading it, and then acting out in my life. Yeah. And so I remember being at that point. You know, why me? You know, I feeling like I was just so isolated in my pain. You know what I'm saying? I'm a young lady from Oakland, grew up in a single parent household. Mama raised me in the middle of the ghetto, right? And so I always felt like an anomaly, you know what I'm saying, growing up. Yet at the same time, while I attended all these private schools, I was always 10 toes down in the trenches. I got to come back to Oakland every single day, whether I went to Alameda, whether I went to Santa Clara, in the USF. Like, I had to come back to this every day, and I never felt like anybody could understand the different worlds I lived. Yeah. And so I've been in a place where I was like, man, why me? Why me? And I realized I was selfish.
Definitely.
And so that's why, because it's not about me, it's about us. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, a lot of folks are so deep in their pain that they can't even realize, and it's no fault on anybody, especially it's no fault on them, but we just can't even, folks can't even realize that we need ourselves to be right for our brother, right? We got to be right to support our sister. Definitely. And so it just kind of hurts sometimes just to watch folks be so deeply in pain, right? And again, no fault of themselves that they can't even see the bigger picture. Right. And that's why.
Where do we go from this pain?
Right. Where you said, where do we go?
Like, where do we go? Like, for us, take responsibility for that pain, and then what's after the pain?
Well, first of all, we got to realize that we had the pain, right? A lot of folks want to be in denial about it. We got to realize we got to call it what it is. Mm-hmm. And then, honestly, like, that's evil. I look at that pain, like I said, I'm a believer. I look at pain as pain, hurt. That's against the word, right? That's essentially like it's against God, and so that ain't right. You're not supposed to have it. As far as I'm concerned, you're not supposed to be dealing with it. Yes, this stuff gonna happen. You know, yes, unfortunately, we gonna deal with death and things like that. But we gotta understand, like, we don't have to experience it, right? For so long, we've been traumatized as a people to where we can get comfortable not even knowing we're depressed. Definitely. We can get comfortable not even knowing that these kids got a whole complex, different form of PTSD. Just from going to bed listening to helicopters and gunshots. Mm-hmm. But we gotta, and this is like the base, it's a whole, like a mindset. Yeah.
Working with the youth, I see it so often.
Oh, our kids is the most resilient. They're the most resilient. We should all take note. They're the most resilient folks.
Because they get up and still come to school and still is not making, but they might act out, but they're present.
Exactly.
They might even be withdrawn. But they're still.
But they're present. They're present. They show up. Now you can't even. You. It's adults that can't even do that.
Exactly.
It's adults.
Wallow in the pity. Mm-hmm. I'm staying in bed today.
Well, for me, school was my escape.
Yeah, real talk.
Right, and I would never go on a tangent and say, I grew up in the quote unquote hood and didn't starve. I didn't want for nothing. My mama made sure I was good. I was in Catholic private school my entire life. Yep. But like I said, that doesn't go to say that I had my own set of challenges, right? Being from Oakland and just going through just life. And school, I cleaved to school. That's why you feel me, like the progression. Trust me, all glory is to God. But the progression is because my mama made sure that I had the gift that keeps giving, which is my education. Right. And so I cleaved to school. I love school. School saved my life. Yeah. And so I remember when I worked in schools, I did a couple summers with the Children's Defense Fund and their freedom schools. Okay. And this is predominantly black and brown kids, quote unquote inner city. I hate that term. And it's such a scholarly word that you don't even know how to really apply it. People just use it.
Inner city.
Yeah, inner city. Like, what am I on the inside of the city? Like,
exactly.
Is that downtown Oakland? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is what is the inner city? Right. And so, like, and like third world country goes in one of those. Like, I hate that phrase as well. But like,
how many worlds we got?
Right, exactly. And so at the Children's Defense Fund, I was a site testing manager, so pretty much every kid in the school, I had to assess their reading level twice. Okay. pretty much like the first week of sessions, and then I came back kind of towards the end to see, check the improvement. And I've never seen kids so resilient, so bright, so much potential to just like shine, but understanding the fact that these are the same people that our folks like to count out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And what was so great about that was I'm holding conversations with these kids, knowing that they didn't see their parents do some things that kids off in suburbs have never seen or just have experienced things. And at the same time, I'm administering the standardized tests. And if we know anything about standardized tests, we know that they've never really been in the favor of black and brown folks. Talk about it. And so as I'm assessing these kids, and a lot of the kids, like, their reading level is not necessarily at the grade level it should be. It was sometimes heartbreaking to know a kid would know words like gangster or bullet or gun or stuff like that, but they couldn't tell the difference between they didn't know bed or like dead or there or her, and just to be able to recognize like a word like gangster and bullet, like it just spoke so much volume, right? And then also, what are y'all learning? What are you learning? What do you see? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like what are you seeing at home? And it's just a testament to our systems, like just not prioritizing our kids, not prioritizing our future, and that's just what I think about, like when I think of schools and why I do this work that I'm doing. I'm sure we're going to probably get into it a little more, but it's really to recreate what I had to support me through, right? I shouldn't feel like that's me and me getting out of my space of why me? Why do I feel like it's just me? Why I feel like I'm just an anomaly to all this? Is recreating the same systems that help me persist, right? So that I'm not the only one. Exactly. And that's really just been my passion right there. That's pretty much how I've got into this work, how I started building on this work, and really just gaining and learning and really finding my direction was one, being spirit-led, but also understanding what got me here, right? And it was really just to support, like just folks, just certain people along the way. Excuse me, whether it was OGs on the block or Miss Emerald, you know what I'm saying? Like folks who are forever in my corner, right? That's what I try to recreate. That's what I try to recreate.
That safe haven.
That exactly. That's why school became my like escape. Why I feel like I was invincible in school. I love school.
I don't have to see all the stuff I go home
Exactly. Like it was like my break. I thrived in school because I love school. That's why my Instagram is Matilda Fresh. Like I felt like that was my life. The two movies, Matilda and the movie Fresh. Like that was like my life. I'm like I love school. I always felt like I just had it, like just like I don't even know how to explain it. I just got it. Like when I got it, I got it. I said science and math, I let that go after high school because I just had to pass my APs and get through high school. But like just, especially when it comes to English and history, especially history, I love history and government. I just got it. Like I just got it quickly, and how we can as a people be peaceful and things like that. It just comes to me naturally, and that's why I'm thankful. Like I said, I'm really a person of service. Really just, and that's in the word as well, just having a servant's heart, understanding that we in this together.
Yeah, I had a conversation yesterday about that. I said, if I want to make the money, I could.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it's something about working with these kids that gives me a bigger check than I can ever see.
Exactly.
And I don't care. I don't care that I'm underpaid. I don't care about any of that. I don't care that I have to, hustle up a little bit harder. But
you get much
every single day I'm there. I walk in that classroom and I feel immediate love. Oh, Mr. Jackson. Exactly. I got 30 kids running up to me. What?
That's like walking on St. Leo's schoolyard to this day. Like all the kids, Bree.
And you know it, and you feel it, and that's real. It's real. And I said that because before I did this, I worked. I was a caterer. I was in food service. Okay. So my whole life, all my jobs have been service, food service. I'm helping other people with their hunger. I'm helping other people, you know what? I got this for you. Don't worry about that.
Got you. Being a service. Yeah, being a service. Yeah.
My life is service. So now that I'm working with kids, it's youth service. I'm working middle school, high school.
It's beautiful.
I'm there. I'm there. I'm like you say, I'm 10 tones down with these kids.
Exactly. That's
And I'm not coming at them fake. I'm giving them exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like you said, school was the place where you felt free. I was the total opposite. Home was the safe place for me. Being around my folks was a safe place. When I went to school, it was like, why I am in prison right now. Who was looking out for me?
Exactly, I feel you, man.
I'm not. I got these teachers telling me all this other stuff. I'm trying to wiggle and fandangle my way out of stuff, but who got me?
It's funny because I went through that too. I felt the same way. It wasn't until like I realized what I could do with it. You know, I felt the same way. I'm not even gonna mention teachers' names on here, but I had a teacher who set me on the floor in front of class, like as a way to discipline me. Like, what?
Talking to you, G.
Right?
Talking to you, G. Talking to you, G.
That's hilarious. Like, I ain't even gonna mention no names. We Facebook friends, so it's like, you know, I'm trying to be
I'm
friendly.
talking to you, G. You know who I'm talking to.
That's hilarious. So, yeah, and talked about kids calling me black. I got pretty chocolate.
All this chocolate on this screen right here.
All this chocolate. I done seen some chocolate. There you go. Check it out. You feel me? All this melanin.
Come on.
This marvelous melanin. Them folks called us like tar babies and called me fat, all type of stuff. Like, I was tortured, I felt like, at school.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the people I felt tortured by, but it was me just understanding, like, this is why I feel like a Matilda. Like, I just got stuff. Like, certain somebody, it just I don't even have an explanation for it. You can ask. I remember it's a couple folks who used to work at Seymour, like Laura Watkins and stuff like that. Like, so of course we still connect, we still remain in contact and stuff like that. She remember when she was working at St. Leon, she was like, Bree, you always used to be under the shelter doing your homework.
Yep.
And to this day, she still like talk about me, like just saying that, and it's cool also too, because she still like, you know what I'm saying, she still sees me like doing stuff, at least through Instagram and stuff like that, and I see her from time to time. But yeah, that was me under the shelter doing work. You know what I'm saying, doing my homework, just finishing my work. One, because my mama didn't play. Like my mama be real. Like my mama didn't play.
I'm not coming home with homework. I'm finishing all this homework.
She was a true tiger mom. Like you feel me, like a black tiger mom. That was my mom. But also too, like I thrived in school, and I saw it for myself at a young age, and that was like between hoop and basketball. I mean, between hoop and school. Definitely was just like
that's for y'all. It was easier, I feel like, because
what you mean, y'all?
I keep saying this so often every time I talk about this school. I didn't have a male teacher till high school.
That's real.
You feel me?
No, I feel you. That's real, because that's real. That's real to be able to see something.
And
right.
And really, all we really had to even look at was Jason.
True. Yeah.
But Jason was rocking with y'all.
Right.
He didn't give us the time like he gave y'all the time.
True. You're right. That's real. Because as I think about just having visions of just like, you know what I'm saying, women who hold space and have big presence, like including my mom, you know what I'm saying, Miss Simmer, of course, is off top. So that one of those people, like just holding space. And you feel me?
That's the Simmer call right there.
Walk up in the room like...
Them heels.
Peek her face in the door. Just all she had to do was just have a blank, straight face in the door. Would be like,
right.
Everybody just
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't even got a book on your desk.
No, you do like this. You read like praying. You know what I mean?
Praying she didn't say nothing to you. Right?
Exactly. It's it's crazy. I can talk about that too. It's crazy, like how times have changed to where like these kids, like I hope it still got the same effect, but I don't think like it like the kids like.
It depends on you.
True, it's the kids though. It ain't even Miss Simmer. Like she'll always be like that, but it's the kids that like. It lets you know, do they parent discipline
That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm like, how you know, like, stop and doing what you doing and you doing something bad when Miss Simmer walking around.
Right.
And I'm sure they do, but it's just like, I find myself too often like, what y'all, I'm like, what y'all, I'm gonna teach you. Like, what y'all, Hattie's over here teaching.
So from a troublemaker in the middle school and in the elementary school, we were just playing, right? These kids are mean and vindictive.
These kids are harsh.
So
harsh.
we wasn't like that. We wasn't telling you, fuck you. Like, we wasn't doing all that.
No, we might got some scuffles, but who didn't back in the day? Who didn't go shoulders? These kids
we
got some other
just
stuff.
be in the back of the classroom texting on our phones and giggling and stuff like that. We just being kids, and we getting treated like we like a criminal.
These kids looking at porn nowadays in
Crazy
school and stuff like that in class. It did some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I could tell stories for that. I got two nephews, you know what I'm saying? So, like, they still do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to hear stories from them. You know what I'm saying? What's going on in school.
Yeah.
Like, and it's also amazing to watch them, you know, come up and grow. But it's wild to see. I'm just 13, 14 years older than my nephews. And just the difference on just kids now, and then they're two extraordinary young men. I love my nephews. They're gonna be some amazing young men. I'm so excited to see them grow up. But to see like what they gonna do, what they talk about with their friends and stuff, I'm like, man, like y'all, what? I'm like, what? Like what y'all talking about?
Right,
like, how you?
I'm not having these conversations.
Right? Like, how y'all looking at porn in school? Like what? Like
wild.
what? Like so, yeah.
Y'all are
it's wild. Yeah.
So that middle school, elementary school gave you that thirst and hunger for the knowledge.
Definitely.
What does high school do for you?
High school, I learned that I was a peculiar person. And peculiar is it's biblically what you're called to be.
Right.
A peculiar person. And at the time, I didn't have this understanding. I'm just recently got this understanding. I go to Berean Christian Fellowship, and nobody teaches the word like my pastor.
Okay.
My opinion. But my opinion means pretty much is it. But we're called to be a peculiar people, and so I'm going to Alameda. You know what I'm saying? I'm going from dang near Piedmont Avenue.
Right.
You feel me? Yes, it's one of the most thriving private schools in the Diocese of Oakland, and it's black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that says a lot, and it's right off Piedmont Avenue.
Yep.
That says a lot. That's St. Leo. I go from St. Leo, I go to St. Joe's in Alameda. What?
Yeah.
You in Alameda. Alameda. No, I'm joking. The dirty meter. You know, the white kids tried to make it a set. Like Park Street, what?
Never that. They out of pocket.
It's so I'm in a school, you know what I'm saying? I'm in honors and AP courses. You know, I'm the only black person besides me and Karuka and Lily. Leonardo was in like one of them or two of them.
Yeah.
But the only black folks like in honors and AP classes already in the fact that one, I'm in Alameda.
Right.
A former, you feel me, Navy base. So we got the whole old America Navy bravado to it and all all that comes with that.
Yeah.
It's actually mostly Filipinos and white kids. It's some folks of color, like some blacks and Latinos, but it's mostly Filipinos and white kids. And I really have to learn how to, understand different cultures. We come from St. Leo. Like, it's mostly black folks. For me, some is hood black folks, some is bougie black folks. But, like, you feel me, they black.
All black.
You know what I'm saying? They be black. And that we didn't, you know.
Maybe one or two white kids.
Maybe, you feel me, maybe. And that was like.
Asian sprinkle.
Exactly. We did have the winds up in there. That's right. Yeah, you're right. We did. Exactly. So we sprinkled. So, you know what I'm saying? We knew to go have our choice and La Fiestas and stuff. Like, we was good. Like, we knew our stuff. Shout out to Miss Antonia. The La Fiesta. Miss Antonia. When I count to one, you are going to see one. I said, we just get one? We don't get three?
Nope.
Like, we just get one?
That's all I'm giving you.
Man, love Miss Antonia.
Had the illest whistle.
The whistle.
You knew what time it was when you heard that.
And you remember I worked at Salio too after I graduated, so I had that. I still got it in there. But so yeah, peculiar people. You good?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we called to be a peculiar people, and so St. Joe's, you know, I'm literally catching bus there, catching and going home, and still to this day, it's almost kind of ironic that where my office is and what I'm doing is still along the same routes I used to travel from home in school. So the 51 is right outside, the 72 is right outside, the 12, the 6, and the same buses like I was taking everywhere around. It's still here. So it was a different world, but it was I appreciated Because I got the one side, I went to high school where Jason Kidd went to high school.
Yeah, that's real.
You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty cool. I still got me a throwback Jason Kidd Pilots jersey. Go Pilots. Go Pilots. Yeah, exactly.
We had the hand-me-down jersey.
See, exactly. Yep, exactly. Exactly. So it's cool to be able to wear that jersey and still to this day get comments like, yeah, I went here. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not just a throwback. Like, I went here. You know what I'm saying? And so it's I take... pride probably is not the best word. That's the enemy's favorite sin. But I take it just means a lot to me. My schools have always meant a lot to me because I look at I get emotional kind of thinking about like schools like saved my life. And so I don't play when it comes to schools. Like that's why I love March Madness and stuff like that because I love to talk big shit about schools. Because like I'm gonna talk about mine. Like I ain't saying I went to the best schools, but I know that I had like I couldn't get my experience with schools anywhere else. It don't matter if I went to Harvard, it don't matter if I went to Oxford, I would love to. But I know that I can't get what I got at St. Martin de Porres, St. Leo, St. Joe's of Notre Dame, USF, Santa Clara, then USF. I couldn't get those experiences anywhere else. So it wasn't necessarily for the prestige, but I learned so much just being around the different crowds of people. It just taught me just adaptability on a whole different level.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, how important is it to adapt in those situations?
Adaptability is survival.
Definitely.
Survival, definitely. It's part of the reason why, how do I even frame it? Adaptability is everything because it causes one to be aware, right? You have to be aware of your surroundings, and too often, folks are just oblivious to just their surroundings, and so. Coming from, you feel me, Oakland, being around a bunch of fast talking, you like pimps, wannabe pimps. You can't even call them real pimps, just wannabe pimps.
Definitely.
Feel me, just like talking a whole bunch but not saying nothing. Nothing. And I know that was not even grammatically correct, so you know what I'm saying. But then also, actually, the people, even educated folks do it. Like, I don't mean to make it educated like it's like, you know, like folks in the hood can't be educated, but even folks up in these universities talk a whole bunch of just hoity-toity, multi-syllabic words and ain't saying shit. And so that's a real skill to really see through the fluff, right?
Yeah.
And I've been listening.
That sound good.
It sound good. That's my favorite thing to say. My cousin Jahi. Feel me? Sound good. He said that all the time. Like, look, sound good. And so it just was wild learning and seeing through all the talk just at the politics level, at the, you know what I'm saying, the high school level, whatever level, and already not even realizing that I've been seeing through that my whole life.
Right.
Like I've been seeing through folks talking crazy, like talking out the side of their necks, talking like all this game. I've been just watching that my whole life. So now, like, I'm in situations, and I'm, you know, at tables and meetings, and I'm hearing folks. It's like, oh, you one of them. Like, man, I was rooting for you. Like, I wanted you to say something. Like, I wanted you to really just say something that was gonna make me like, man, you over here, you didn't thought about it. You really feel passionate about what you said.
Right.
Nah, I don't run into that. Like, I don't. You know, I'm thankful for that adaptability and that transferable skill. Just seeing through the fluff, like. I wrote papers of fluff. Like, in college, like, fluff got me through college. So, trust me, I know that I can fluff, too, but I can make it sound good like I actually said you something. You know, like, you know who the best person who says a whole bunch of stuff, good stuff, great stuff, but don't say nothing?
I got a few people.
Nah, this the best. It's the best. It's the best, because, like, you know, if you just stuck, Barack Obama. Barack Obama don't say
West, but that's
him too. But I say probably him too. I haven't had the pleasure of listening to him as closely. I've been since I was a junior in high school in 2008 when Obama got in office, and that's when I really started getting into politics. And so Obama is a great speaker. He's a great storyteller. Like he has it down. Like the man is a master of storytelling. He was actually just here last month in Oakland. He had the first ever MBK summit.
Did you go to that?
I was. Our organization, Urban Strategies Council.
Talk about it.
We were one of the, I don't really want to count, but we were one of the many communities across the nation who received national recognition and funding for our work around boys and men of color. We historically have been doing this work. It's nothing new. Even before it was called Boys and Men of Color work, the work is being done. But the Obama Foundation awarded us, along with an organization in San Francisco, which is escaping me, an organization in Richmond, you might have heard of Rise, the Rise Center. although we received the highest tier of recognition, the National Impact Model. Really around the work we've been doing Boys and Men of Color, bringing folks together and really having outcomes and goals and metrics on how we are really better and efficiently serving our boys and men of color.
Right.
So, it probably sounded like a whole bunch of fluff I just told you, right? That's because it was a great event, but.
That's when he had the dad jeans on.
He probably did.
He had on the tight dad jeans. He was like, if you wanna. If you're, what did he say? He said, if you're securing yourself,
that one, yeah,
you don't need
right.
5 women on you.
Right, yeah, that was that. That was that.
The gold chains.
That was that, but I must say, but like, it was like I said, like, one of the instances he was just saying a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing, but what I will say about that experience, so while I was there, I wish more folks doing the work was there. I really do wish more folks actually doing the work on the ground was there.
Right.
I saw a lot of elected officials, a lot of folks I see on TV and actually have the privilege of actually knowing and being in meetings with.
Right.
Some I've worked for and worked with. They were there, some funders. Tony Thurman is one of my favorite elected officials. Yeah, he's one of my favorite elected officials. He asked me to pray for him. I'll never forget that. Last year, right before he was about to, during the race for superintendent, he asked me to pray for him. I never felt so, as a believer, I never felt so, just honored, like, a ruler's heart should be in the hands of the Lord.
Right.
Right. And so, and being a believer, having somebody ask me to pray for them, like that, I was like on it. That was like one of the most serious things like somebody's asked me to do.
Right.
Like, no, I got what I was saying. Like, I got you.
Right.
Say no more, my G.
Right.
Like, literally.
Right.
And so, man, I can go on with that for days. But back to Obama being just the best speaker, saying nothing. The king of fluff. He has a skill for saying a whole bunch of nothing. Like, honestly, I'm not jealous because I can't be jealous, but I'm just like, man, and usually the people will be like, did you hear what he just said? Like, oh my goodness.
Holding on every word.
What I will say, though, about back to the Obama Summit and just the Urban Strategies Council being an awardee and being there and being present, one of my good homies. Bushrod, he's a Bushrodian as well, North Oakland representative, I-City. He, my boy Leo, we actually had the opportunity to ensure that he got to be on stage with the president as they were asking questions for this town hall. My boy Leo got to ask the question, and that's the question that stirred all these New York Times articles. That was the question that my boy Leo asked.
There you go.
You feel me? And that's funny. Legend. Leo was like, what role does music, I hate to misquote him, but what role does music play in the revolution? And Barack said a whole bunch of nothing. It sounded good. He said a whole bunch of nothing. And that's what, he didn't even answer his question. Yeah. Like, and that's how I knew he got him, because I didn't even realize until I had to read the New York Times article. I was like, damn, Leo, he didn't answer your question. Like, I didn't even realize it. He's in front of my face, and he didn't answer the question. And I didn't even realize it.
The man talks so well.
The man has a skill, man. He has a skill for saying dilly squat.
That's how he works.
Right, but, seeing my boy up there and just having an opportunity to ensure that he was up there, like, it brought me to tears. I felt like I met Barack. Yeah. Barack gave him $10 for his CD because he's a musician. Leo's a musician, so he gave him his CD.
I would never spend that $10.
He said he gonna frame it. Leo said he gonna frame it. Steph Curry got a copy of his CD as well. Like, I felt like I promise you, I feel like I met Barack Obama and Steph Curry that day. Like, it was that was the highlight of that whole experience. And the fact that Steph Curry redid Bushrod. Like, are you seen Bushrod lately? It's all the Steph Curry, his foundation did it. Not even the Warriors, the Steph Curry Family Foundation. They did Bushrod.
Courts and everything, or?
At least the basketball court, like most definitely, at least the inside the rec center, I actually redid out.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I ain't been to the turf in so long, man. I'm not gonna lie. I went maybe 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, it's dome. It's
still North Oakland gentrified. It still got the G's somewhere under there. Unfortunately, the G's might be living homelessly under the freeways and stuff like that. But we know where to find them.
Yo, I'm gonna take a moment of silence. Say R.I.P. Johnny's.
Oh, Johnny's. Johnny's. R.I.P. Johnny's.
R.I.P. Johnny's.
I was too sad when I saw that Johnny's. I was too sad. I grew up at Johnny's. Me and his daughter was the same age. Yeah. She went off to Cal. Yep. I went to college, and I will go back just to say what's up to Johnny. I don't even want no greasy don't even eat like that no more. I just wanted to say what's up and just step on familiar turf.
Yeah.
Johnny was always cool. Even only person that didn't freak me out, and not freak me out, but like, you know, as a kid, like his fingers was missing. I don't know what happened, but like some of his
finger,
it was missing, and like Pins used to freak out over that. Yeah. He was the coolest dude ever, and like I love Johnny.
Yeah, he told me a story. Like as a kid, had something to do with something bad or wrong that he did back in China.
You gotta cut you?
You gotta cut it off.
I can totally see that. I don't play. Folks want to talk about leaving America, go to China. Change your mind. All right,
that was some real. That's some real North
Oakland. Let's cut cake, no feeling.
Yeah, all that.
Man. That's when I was like super chubby. Used to get my donut holes and chocolate milk for Johnny. For $1.50 for sure. Man. We gotta do better, black folks. We can't be eating like that no more. We gotta do better. Man, we was kids. I know we kids, but I'm just thinking.
I got one student who's he's 8th grade, already vegetarian.
Oh, that's impressive.
Already.
That's impressive.
And he can dictate and tell you exactly why.
That's impressive.
And the teacher asked him, like, "Oh, are you a pescatarian?" He was like, "No, I don't eat fish." That boy is smart.
That's impressive. That's some discipline right there. I personally believe all things in moderation.
Yeah.
But that's some discipline. That's discipline on all different levels. So I respect it.
And it wasn't.
Respect the discipline.
Excuse me. It wasn't even his mom or dad that's telling him.
Choice.
He said he saw probably like what the hell or something.
I'm impressed. Yeah.
And he said, "Nope, not no more. I can't even pretend to like this no more."
I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing that.
Yeah.
Like we said, they're resilient. They know what they want.
They know.
They know what they want. You gotta listen to them.
They know. They don't get enough credit, but they know.
So, after seeing through the fluff and adapting, we get to college.
Yep.
How does that change your life?
Man, I went to Santa Clara University for undergrad. I went straight out of high school. That's a blessing in of itself. Into a private school at that. Of course, private schools always, we know it's a little more expensive, but it's more of a guarantee of getting out in 4 years.
Yeah.
To be so close to home yet so far away was interesting.
Yeah.
It was interesting, I must say. I'm in Santa Clara, about 45 minutes away.
Right.
Great America down the street. I watched them actually build Levi Stadium. They built Levi Stadium. Yeah. So I would take the Amtrak back and forth, and I would watch them build that thing. Yeah. It was a blessing. It was a great opportunity. But it was wild. It was a different world.
Yeah.
Different world. I'm looking at all these rich white kids.
Silicon Valley.
In the heart of Silicon Valley. All this privilege around me. Realizing my own privilege I had in being there.
What was your privilege there? That's real.
Shit, I was there.
That you were even.
I was there, and
you got an ID number.
Exactly. Like I'm there. Like it's a privilege. Education has always been like a tiered system.
Yeah.
And for me, education was never meant for everybody. Right. And so it's a privilege. Just me being on the campus. When I wear my Santa Clara University alumni sweatshirt. When I wear anything like this, I wear that because it's a privilege. That's why I take. I'm an asshole when it comes to college sports as well, because I take school seriously on every level.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the one and done culture. I understand it, but I don't support it.
Yeah.
School is not everything, but school is, man. We want to just value so much on just people and their opinions and stuff like that, but we don't value education.
Right.
And so it's a different world. It was a different world. I had folks who remember my first day of class. You know, I'm Bree. I'm from Oakland. Blah, blah. Everybody either wanted to be my friend or was scared of me. It was funny. I was like,
"Oh, you're from Oakland."
Like,
yes, she's from Oakland.
The town.
That
yes.
was the only.
Exactly. Yes. And it was funny because I came from a private school, and I never was like a poser. Like I like wearing polos and my Sperry's and some sneakers sometimes, and so that's how I started. I dressed like it naturally, going to class and stuff like that. By the time I graduated college, I was wearing white tees and Nike shorts and sandals. Like, keep it real.
Right.
Like, and not that I wasn't keeping it real wearing my polo shirts, because I still wear my polo shirts. I love a polo shirt. Not even gonna lie. But just like it was wild. I was a part of the women's basketball team. That was pretty cool. And the experience, a little travel I got with that, realizing that education Well, money buys education, not intelligence, and that's really where I realized that was at Santa Clara.
Yes.
Money buys you education, because I met some of the not so brightest folks ever.
Oh my God.
At school, I mean, just they wouldn't survive a day.
Yeah.
In
by themselves.
Yeah. And just like me knowing just how to wash, or me just knowing how to like.
Right. How to wash my
clothes, wash my body, honestly.
Right.
It would be funky. Dirty, filthy, and just understanding just how to like be aware of my own space.
Right.
How to be aware of being in other people's areas and neighborhoods and stuff like that. They don't have that. They don't have that. Folks don't have that. Folks don't have that understanding. So I just realizing that's when I realized my other privilege, the privilege that they didn't have. Right, was me being able to marry these worlds, right, that I come from. Yeah. That was the biggest privilege for me, and that I realized. I didn't realize that as soon as I wished I would have, but I can't, look back on it because I mean I'm still here.
Because now you adapted, and now you're a part of it, and also seeing that these people aren't better than me.
Nah, they're not, and it's funny how the world likes to make you think that it's different. We all. And for me, we all got our own purposes. We all got our own thing, and it's funny to how the world just makes you think that education makes you better than folks. I just knew school was for me.
Right.
But it was great to see how my street smarts, just being from a town, being from a place like Oakland, and not being game goofy in the slightest, married with all the education and the scholastic aptitude tests and all this other stuff, how it married so. Cool, how it just married and gave me it really just helped to form just how I look at politics, look at how I look at people. I double majored in sociology and political science. And really just marrying those worlds, like that was a privilege. That's a privilege. A kid from the town being at a prestigious university in the Silicon Valley, which at the time I was in there, at one point was a couple, slots above Cal on the Forbes top 100 colleges list. We still right in the mix. Definitely on the top 100, but I didn't realize any of this prestige until I got to Santa Clara. Didn't know anything about Santa Clara. Honestly,
that wasn't even it was just go to Cal.
Right.
Go to State.
Exactly. Like I was like Santa Clara. It was like on Fluke. Like somebody told me you should apply to Santa Clara. All right. Applied to it. Come to find out it's the oldest university west of the Mississippi. So many of one of the richest men in the world, John Sobrato, is a major donor, major figure in the area. Shamar Moore went there. Gavin Newsom went there.
Another Oakland legend.
Yeah, Shamar. Yeah, he is, babe, for sure. My high school principal went there. I started to realize just the connections and just like the small network that I was building that's gonna help me persist through. And I was realizing like Santa Clara was a perfect place for me, Lord. Like you put me so close to home yet so far away. I felt like it was amazing. It was amazing.
And in that time, I think I saw you maybe once or twice. I saw you at Stanford.
At a party. That's right.
At the Future Show.
That's right. That's right. At Blackfest.
Yeah, when
Blackfest.
Future was like on his ride.
He was. Yeah, that was.
All he had to was honest out.
Yeah, that was.
I remember that day.
I remember that. See, I remember that too.
Young Future.
We used to be at Stanford all the time. Man, you feel stupid walking around Stanford. It's so confusing. Like, I didn't apply to this school.
Stanford is amazing.
I didn't apply to this school. Like, you kicked me at Santa Clara. Like, man, where's the man? What? How you even get around? You couldn't even find a party.
Yeah.
You couldn't even find a party.
It's on the block. I done turned
where?
corners.
What you mean? Like, so yeah. I remember that Blackfest.
So Santa Clara, and then where'd you go next? You graduated from Santa Clara?
I graduated from Santa Clara in 2014.
Was there any issues while you were at Santa Clara?
I had a couple of little racial things. I'm not gonna lie. I had a couple of racial things. They tried to. I had some white folks like call me a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I've had some funny comments from professors and coaches just saying, kind of like patronizing things. I never really sweated too much. I had a coach told me I was the best thing to come from Oakland. And I was just like, all right, like, You obviously ain't seen much of the world.
You obviously don't know what Oakland is.
Right, exactly. Like
That's a high praise for you.
Yeah, it was, but at the same time, like, what you think? It was like, what you think of Oakland?
Yeah,
That's the same what you think of where I'm from.
Right.
Like, for you to think that I'm the quote unquote best thing to come from Oakland, what you think? Where you think of where I'm from?
Right.
So it was more like
about Oakland.
All right, white lady.
Oakland is the hub of creativity.
Right, exactly. So it was just more like all right,
it has
white lady,
been
like
for the past 40, 50 years. Come on. Every generation, every 10 years, there's at least 20 creations out of Oakland. That Black Panther movie that y'all love so much.
Exactly. Ryan. Hey, hello.
Come on.
Hello.
Same school.
Hello.
Come on. We're in the presence of greatness at all times.
All time. Yeah.
You never know who's sitting right next to you on bar, or right next to you at a bar, or right next to you sitting just walking down the street.
Now you never know. That's why it's Oakland, and so for them to say stuff like that to me, I'd be like, all right, like, and I mean, it was just present in some of just the way people operated, how they looked at you, but I can't say that those racial moments outnumbered the great experiences I had at Santa Clara. I'd be a lie to say that those like were even big, even minor, like kind of like interactions. Like they were. The way I looked at them, it might have messed with some folks. Some folks don't have as thick a skin as me. Like I said, I come from Alameda, and when I was in Santa Clara,
right.
At that point, I'm used to it. Like, and at the same point, wait a minute, I'm from North Oakland. You know that North Oakland is one of the first gentrified places in Oakland.
Come on,
so I didn't have white neighbors look at me like, who is that? I'm like, I'm not even no thug. Like, I'm not the least of your worries. First of all, I've been there before you. Secondly, like, I know my hoodie and sweats is. I'm not even that person that you think that I am, but nonetheless, I probably going to a school that you probably couldn't get into. But I know it's a little, you know what I'm saying. I'm not humble saying that, but that's the reality. It was sometimes with the white folks. So I was used to it at that point. I was like, well, whatever. Like, I see you in the class. Like, you still like I'm still in high regards to my professors.
Right.
I didn't have so many professors. That's where I knew that Santa Clara was actually a place that inspired me to be in politics because I was around so many people with different views. It was just natural for me to just speak. Like folks thought the Black Panthers was from the East Coast. No, I had the privilege of working with a Black Panther. I worked for Supervisor Keith Carson. I worked with Missy Lane Brown. And so for people to say that like the Panthers was from the East Oakland, I had to be like, wait a minute, hold on. Like my mom and my uncles and aunties went to school with Bobby Seale and Huey Newton. Like, hold on, like they been fed by the free breakfast program or something like that. And so
that sign is on 55th and Market.
Market, that crosswalk. Yep. Yeah, exactly. And so really just having to break it down, and like my professors just started seeing my passion. And I was in sociology at first, and I had a couple pretty cool sociology. I took some political science class, and I was like, I think I might like this. Like just starting to understand the foundation of just our country and our electoral college and stuff like that. Like, I think I can just, put something together. I feel like I got a mindset and I had a whole, understanding for this. And so I've had so many teachers just say to me, you're going to be the mayor of Oakland. Like, you're going to do this and do that. And not even saying whatever Lord lead me to do, I'm going to do. But, like, not even saying, like, that was ever a motivation. But just to hear that, just to watch people see my real passion was, like, where I was like, okay. And I said, these white folks, you know what I'm saying? These, like, and they're not bullshitting me because I remember I got the lens for it. Like, I know if you fuck with me or not. And that was, like, really serious and really, like, looking forward to, like, helping me and see where I was going. I got professors that, we friends on LinkedIn now. I have a professor from grad school. We're like colleagues. We go to conferences together, and we are in the same line of work. And so it was Santa Clara was an awesome place. I'm very thankful to be a Bronco. I'm very thankful for my time there. Be amongst that small, close knit yet powerful community. That's like I said, that's a privilege. Education is a privilege. I'd be a lie to say that it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I'll be a lot.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. From Santa Clara, where do we go next?
University of San Francisco. USF, yep. USF, yep. I went straight up. Was thankful. I went straight through from undergrad to grad school. And it's funny because I was like, this is why I was really starting to gain my understanding and really just leaving the religious mindset of what I've been taught in Catholic school to understanding and having a relationship with God.
Yeah.
It was like around like the beginning of 2014, the year I was going to graduate undergrad. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm not going to go to work. At that time, I was interning during the summers for Supervisor Keith Carson, the Alameda County Board of Supervisors.
Okay.
And I was like, what am I going to work? Like, am I going to go to school still? Like, what am I going to do? And so I think it was funny because I don't even know what motivated me, but I was like, I'm going to apply to grad school.
Right.
I applied to one school which has two programs, was USF, the Urban Affairs program, the Master of Urban Affairs and the Master of Public Affairs. And when I applied, I got my letter back, and so the first letter I got back was a letter from the school. The Master of Urban Affairs program was like, you have not been admitted into the program. So I was like, the next letter I got was I got into the public affairs program.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, cool, like, and so
I can be public, I can't be urban.
exactly, like, all right, you feel me? So whatever. Nonetheless, I was like, cool, like, all right, I'm going to grad school, like, right on, like, I got excited, like, cause I knew I just wanted to be of service. I knew politics, I knew sociology, and I got there and it was like a...
Let me stop you real quick.
Go ahead.
Did you apply to grad school out of fear? Because you said you didn't know what you were doing next.
I can't say it was fear.
Okay.
It was more of it was excitement. And it was an unknown. So
Okay.
it may not have been fear. I don't think it was fear though because I didn't really know it. But I also felt like I could do what I wanted to do in a sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it was fear.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't fear.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. It wasn't fear. I love school, and so I don't think I could almost say that I wouldn't act out of fear with school. And so what I mean by exercising my faith was that it was. And you know what? I know I didn't act out of fear because I only applied for one school. That's only applied for one school.
Get in.
I'm getting in. That's what I know. It was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I only applied to USF.
Right.
And those were two different programs, but I only applied to USF.
Okay.
And so and I got in.
Yeah.
And I started August 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 months after I graduated Santa Clara.
So why back to back, right?
Straight through, yep.
So you have your doctorate? No, I'm sorry.
Master, yeah.
I'm doctor.
Maybe one day,
doctorate.
yeah.
I said doctorate.
One day, maybe.
You have your master's?
I have a master's, yes. Master's in public affairs, yes.
Master's in public affairs.
Yes.
So what does that entail for a layman? For someone like me who
I mean, honestly,
doesn't know what all these words mean.
it means I have a piece of paper with a gold stamp on it that I paid $80,000 for.
Talk about it.
In all honesty,
talk about it. Keep
pretty
it
much.
Keep it that way.
Pretty much. I'm not undermining my education at all. I know it's a worldly marker of success, and I'm not, like I said, I don't undermine it. But at the end of the day, I know that it's necessary for the change that I'm supposed to be a part of and change that I'm supposed to make. It's starting to become more clear, and I think that I knew without even knowing back then that I'm supposed this is your route for you to make the changes because you got viewpoints and you put stuff together and got insights into things that folks just don't have the privilege of looking into, like just like being on like I said, walking past some OGs, and I got family members who was like famous, like really gangsters and stuff like that. So just being of that upbringing, being raised in the middle of the ghetto, and having understanding politics and stuff like that, you gotta learn people. And I'm 26.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And being in these fields and meetings with folks like that, and at the time getting the exposure at the county level when I was interning, like I was seeing stuff that I know folks just weren't seeing.
Right.
And so I knew.
You've always been wiser than your age.
That's the Lord. That's a blessing. And I was funny. I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I do got older parents too, but at the end of it, I've always just like, I don't know. You know, I mean, we all got our own struggles too, but like the wisdom just, I'm an old soul. I feel like I'm an old soul.
Definitely.
I'm an old soul. People, like I tell you I'm 26, sometimes people be like, how old are you? Like, especially like when I apply for jobs and like, or I'm lying because I don't really apply for jobs like that. I've only applied for 2. I'll talk about that later because I applied for the job. Damn, it's on podcast. But by the time this comes out, everybody listens to it. But nonetheless, but no, real talk. you can't even tell my age when you look at my resume.
Yeah.
Right, and so like certain things I cut out, like the St. Leo work and stuff like that. You just see my degrees and you see the work experience I've been blessed to do. You won't even know I'm 26, and that's why I'm just thankful for the wisdom that I didn't even really know I had until I just started to just embrace it.
Right.
Right. I started to understand like why I've always kind of felt so isolated.
Yeah.
Or why I've always felt like an anomaly. I just was blessed with some wisdom beyond my years.
Right, I'm reaching for greatness. I have to just work up to it.
I got to, exactly. I'm called. We called. Like,
Definitely.
I'm called. I got to.
Yeah, everybody can't do the things that we do.
No, they can't. Everybody got their own thing. That's for them, though.
Exactly.
They got their own thing that's for them. But when you called, you know. And I would advise against ignoring the call.
Right. Has there been a point where you said, "No, it's not for me"?
That was in college. That's when I was a philosophy major, and they made me prove and disprove the existence of God.
Okay.
And I took a D. I got a D on my college transcript. I was like, I can't get with that. At a Catholic school, this is when I realized religion ain't like really. How you know? At a Catholic school, you're gonna have me prove and disprove God. Yeah, that's when I realized like philosophy ain't for me. I appreciate it. I was like philosophy ain't for me.
And they give you a D for it.
Oh yeah, I got a D. I took a D on that. I got a D on my college transcript. No, I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not.
It's like no, it still exists. Or no, it don't exist. Like,
that's crazy. I was like, whatever.
How do you get graded on that?
That's how I know God is real. I got into grad school with a D on my transcript.
Right.
Like.
And that D came from disproving
God. Exactly. That's faith right there. That's faith. Real talk.
It is work.
Like, forget it does. It does. To one who believes. Feel me? That's why I say I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Because you operate it whether or not you want to call yourself a Christian or not. You operate on a belief, on faith.
Definitely.
Faith is like I can't quote this is my pastor. Faith is more. My pastor said this. Faith is more of a verb than it will ever be a noun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where religion mess up. Like, you think it's just a thing.
Yeah.
It's something you got to do.
Yes,
you got to believe. You know what I'm saying? You got to believe it. And so what I say that to say, people do that faithing all the time, but what are they faithing in?
Yes.
People, you know what I'm saying? You believe it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I've always just appreciated. I've really began to appreciate it, being a believer and understanding God more. Because folks, faith and fear is the same thing, except different polar opposites.
Definitely.
You know, it's the same thing with polar opposites. If that makes sense, it's the same type of energy you putting into worrying or believing.
Yeah, it's a positive pole, negative pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what caused you to? How did you find this work that you're doing right here?
Another faith moment. So I was working working for Supervisor Keith Carson, and I was finishing up an internship. So I finished grad school, graduated in June 2016. I was working for county supervisor. At the end, they called it internship, fellow, whatever. At that point, I was like dang near staff because I've been with them for about 4 years, two summers, but 4 years total, and 2 years of grad school. So I didn't see anything. I know the county administrator; she know me by name. To this day, you know, all these folks, all the supervisors know my face and stuff like that. I'm like, dang, Bree, what you gonna do? Like, you gonna be here? Like, you know, I gotta take a drug test. Like, so I was like, man, at the time I was smoking heavy weed. I quit. Definitely quit that. So, just taking an opportunity to look back and say, all right, not acting out of fear, what are you gonna do?
Right.
About a week after that, I got an email from my former program director at USF, and she was saying she was sending out job announcements. She was sending out a job announcement that was the position I'm in now. It was Urban Strategies Council, and I'd already known about Urban Strategies Council because of the supervisor I work with. We've been around for 30 years, revered in the community and with elected officials. Revered, perhaps not the best word, but just we were known. I was like, okay, Urban Strategies Council. And so in grad school, flashback to grad school, my grad school capstone was on the Boys and Men of Color work and whether or not this whole new MBK stuff that the President Obama was doing was really having an impact on Boys and Men of Color. So hence my skepticism about just it all, period. So during that project, the former CEO of this organization, Junius, he's known nationally, and of course hyper locally. He's well known, and I wanted to interview him for my master's capstone because he's a Boys Men of Color figure. He's like precocious in talking about this work, and I interviewed him for my capstone, and it was funny because the receptionist that was there, she's no longer here with us now, was the same receptionist that was here when I came to get my job, like when I came to interview and stuff like that. And so that was in February 2016. This is in August now, 2016. I get this email, Urban Strategies Council looking to hire Opportunity Youth Initiative Program Associate.
Right.
Read it. That was Opportunity Youth. I read it and looked at it. I was like, you ain't even no driver's license? I still ain't got my driver's license. I'm working on it. I was like,
telling me that I gotta get one.
I was like, you ain't got no driver's license? I was like, you're required? I was like, oh, I'm on it.
Yeah.
So I applied for it. Only job I applied for.
Yeah.
Only job I applied for. Got an email back. I got hired, and I even got $10,000 more in salary than what I even expected to get.
Yeah.
Only job I applied for. Yeah. Only job I applied for. And
It's a thing that about not having a plan B sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you say, when you believe and you're a believer, you have a direct mission.
Exactly.
I'm going directly to the
no, it's not an option.
Exactly.
You feel me? No, it's not an option. It's either gonna happen that way, it's gonna manifest in another way that you didn't expect.
And my cup is gonna be
overflowing.
Yes.
Overflowing.
Yes.
And that's overflowing. That's a good way to put it.
So what caused the breakup with marijuana?
Man, what caused the breakup with marijuana? I can't be at function with a cloud in mind. Real talk. I didn't. At 15, I started smoking, and it was really getting me through what I thought was getting me through just traumatic times. Like I done seen some stuff, been in some situations, and it was just trauma. And it was a crutch. Mm-hmm. It got so bad to where, like, especially these last couple years, you wouldn't catch me without it. Yeah. Like everybody who knew me knew. Yeah. You feel me? I'm smoking. Like, you know, no Bree got it. Like, it would be people hit me just to smoke. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Like, just because they knew I had this, they wanted to meet up just to smoke, and I was going to smoke regardless. So, if he was going to smoke with me, like, whatever. Yeah, like, if I liked you, I wasn't really tripping. If I didn't fuck with you, it wouldn't happen. Yeah, but I was going to smoke regardless. And so, I just started to, as a believer, just knowing what I know in the Word and just having a pastor who teaches the Word he does, like, I can't continue to live my life with a cloud in mind knowing and believing, especially with the mindset of weed, like taking, like, is feeling like it's getting rid of my anxiety and depression, stuff like that. Right. Being a believer, that's all taken care of. That's what Jesus died for, right? He died so that we wouldn't have that. You feel me? You don't need all that other stuff, and so it's really just being like, knowing my spirit know that. You feel me? My flesh don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So it really is like, at this point, a battle of the mind. Like, Bree, like, you got to put it down. Like, you can't function like that. It's too many people who actually support my decision and who see me grow, and, like, from the hood of all places. Like, be like, you right, Bree. Like, it's too many people, like, needing me to do what God has led me to do. Exactly. And I don't want nothing blocking that no more. That's right. And I'm not going to lie, I've struggled with it. I can't even say I struggle with it. I've let my mind and my flesh overtake what I know is spiritually right. You feel me? I've slipped up since I quit a couple times. I would never fake the front or fake the funk at all. But it was a habit. I don't have that. Right. I don't claim it. And when I feel weak, I'm strong in Him, because that's not how I want to operate. I don't want to meet people and share space with folks just over weed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just, like, get a friend or have somebody I'm attached to just because we got weed in common. Definitely. Like, that's whack to me. Yeah. And that was happening too much. Yeah. It was just like happening. I'm like,
weed friend.
I got weed. I'm like, Bree, like, these. And this is the cold part was, like, and I realized, like, it's because I had to take myself seriously. I'm like, Bree, like, you a real ass town factor out here. Yeah. Like, I had to, like, really, like, watch it, like, Bree. Like, it's real life. You got elected officials that can call you and that message you and that lead you for certain things. You feel me? Like, got you in their contacts. Yeah. And you over here acting like you not, you feel me? You just like a quote unquote just nobody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that I'm this because I went to school where I did all of this. It's just the fact that, like, it's just not right. You feel me? It's just like I'm trying to live two different lives.
So what was your function like on weed when you had to work?
I'm highly functional. So I thought.
Right.
I got less highly functional the longer I kept going. And like school, like I was highly functional. We get high, smoke, write papers, get A's. Like, it was that was no, it wasn't a problem. I was high every time. I was high.
So once you
always
splash
high.
into this work world,
I was still high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was high so much to where, like, of course, when I smell high at the job, like, I wouldn't come out. Never, like, that was never my style. I hate smelling like weed. I hate all that stuff. But, like, after work, you smell like, I would at least, like, 2-3 months a day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, even, like, folks who knew me, like, who as adults, like, mentors knew I smoked.
Right.
And they weren't even tripping on it. That's how I knew, like, how functional I was, but how much it wasn't right.
Right.
Because ain't nobody gonna tell me no, especially at that level. Because they're like, well, you handle your business, you doing this and that.
It's not a problem.
It's not a problem. And I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, I almost wanted somebody to tell me, like,
I was gonna
you know what I'm saying? Like,
you need that.
You feel me? Like, it was like, dang. And that's kind of just when I realized that, like, that's the world. You know what I'm saying? And for me to be a believer, like, you can't be of the world. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stick to what's right. And so, like I said, I slipped up a couple times. But my heart is after the Lord's heart. Right. You feel me? And I'm forever striving after that. And so I know what's right and wrong. Right. At the end of the day, I know that. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to play around with the blessing either. Because that's how you die playing with the blessing. You die.
Get rid of it. You get rid of it.
You die.
Like, what? I don't have that no more.
You die. I'm just thankful for the opportunity to continue to exercise my faith in it. As I exercise my faith in getting a job, I exercise my faith in and not smoking. And I'm higher in my faith than other levels in my life.
Right.
And some levels, I gotta work on it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta work on it. Flesh be overtaking me sometimes. I want to smoke.
Of course.
Like, on the mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to smoke. I'm like, I can't. I just can't function like that. I can't.
So, switching gears.
Hold on.
Tell me, so far in this Urban Strategy Council, besides the Obama, what's your peak? What's the highest?
The highest?
The highest that you've been.
I've couple things. Okay, that's cool. Good question. Couple highs. I've really have developed a real appreciation for our California community colleges.
Okay.
We have 114 community colleges in California.
Right.
Thus the largest public education system in the world.
Okay.
And as somebody who has been extremely privileged and blessed to attend private Catholic school my entire life, I'm just now in these past 3 years understands the precious and just the nature and just the resources that community colleges supply for our community.
Right.
And so I've really been able to, so my role here is, as an Opportunity Youth Program Associate is, one, Opportunity Youth, I don't really like the term. Let me just make I don't like Opportunity Youth. I don't like labeling youth.
Right.
Because we go into good and bad thing.
Right.
And so pretty much Opportunity Youth refers to youth between the ages of 18 and 24 who are out of school and out of work. And so, I've really been building tables and building learning communities with government folks, so from the county, from the city, community-based organizations that offer direct services, that help with stabilization services, as well as the Peralta Community College District, to really hold space for all folks on all sides that serve this population, because they don't realize that we serve in the same type of people.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Peralta, their highest group of folks entering the college is that group, the 18 to 24-year-old, at least 18 to 27. And but they also still got under-enrolled classes. And it's more than, I hate to make the case for it, but it's more than it's a labor market, incentive to have people not necessarily in school, but I say in community college, because you can learn a trade and stuff like that and get put into a job real quick. It's an economic incentive for both sides. So to teach, educate, and hire youth and young adults, specifically those who have fallen through the cracks of our school systems, who have been, unfortunately, systems involved, whether they were in jail, their parents were in jail, foster youth, like just systems impact the young adults, whether they receive benefits or not. Statistically, that population, they statistically show that they have barriers to achieving it. So, really, I helped my colleague and a former colleague of mine helped to co-locate a new, one-of-a-kind college course, one credit for folks 18 and older who had either a GED or a high school diploma. It was a college exploration course, and so it was at the College of Alameda, and folks from a couple of the nonprofits and schools we were working with, specifically with the disconnected youth and young adults. We were able to put together a class full of those community-based organization clients at the College of Alameda to help them see themselves in a college setting. And they got one credit, and that means a lot to folks who ain't seen college.
Definitely.
To know that you get a credit, whether it's 1 or 3.
Yes.
To know that you get a credit for this, that incentive, that at least one person went on to actually enroll in the community college.
That's beautiful.
And so that was definitely a highlight, being able to actually co-design that course and put together the professors with the community-based organizations and have it at a community college that we've been working with. That's definitely a highlight.
Yeah, that's beautiful because somebody 18, 19 is like, oh yeah, I don't even know if I want to go to college.
Right.
Could sit in that class and say, I think I might. Just for the experience. Like I was telling you about the young lady that I was dealing with the cosmetology. I had another situation on the inverse side where I had a young man, and he was like, I don't know if I want to go to college. Okay, so what do you like to do? Do you, are you a laborer? What do you like to do?
Right, what do you like to do?
He's like, yeah, I used to, I do kind of construction with my family. Cool, bet. I'm looking up programs that he can do. It's a spot in West Oakland that it's like an 8-week course or a 4-month course that gives them the skills that they need. Another externship program you done in 4 months. You getting paid training. And then you get a job on top of that. I'm trying to get these kids.
What's one of my parts? Is that Civil Corps? Sound like Civil Corps. It might be another one.
It's a different one.
Okay.
Mandela.
Okay, of course. Cypress Mandela.
Cypress Mandela.
That's Art Shanks, folks. Yep.
Exactly. So you know what time it is with them. So for an 18, 19-year-old to be able to go to school for 4 months, get bread for going to school,
that's huge.
And then go to their career instantly,
that's
building
huge.
solar panels or whatever it is.
That's huge.
Beautiful.
That is.
Because you still get your education. You still get the money that you're going to need because you being out here nickel and diming, this is going to keep you off the streets. Because for me, I went to college. I needed to make money. All I got is me. I needed the money. So, okay, I'm going to stop college. Because I need to work. I have to have a living. I have to pay rent. You have to pay bills. I don't have enough money. I used to live in Concord. I was going to the Art Institute in the city. That BART ride alone was dub every day. I don't have a job. How am I gonna get to school?
That's wild.
So as a youth fresh out of high school, especially if you don't have a support system,
it's real
difficult. So anytime a student is gonna come up to me and I'm asking them, what do you like? What do you like? What are you interested in? Let's
start there.
Because from then I can find something for you. Here you go. I'm the connect.
It's that exactly, and that mixed with your personal drive.
Right.
Because that's unfortunately and that's what I challenge my youth with. I can't care more than you care.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so too often, we can't trick our youth into thinking that it's just gonna come to you.
It's not.
Because that's the world. It's instantaneous. Everything, gratification, instantaneous. That's what they thinking.
Gotta work.
You gotta find the hungry and thirsty ones, right? For anything, you gotta find the hungry and thirsty ones. The ones who hustle and want to turn their hustle into a different transferable hustle. You gotta find those folks, and the folks who it sucks because you want to save everybody.
Yeah.
You want to help everybody.
Right.
But you can't.
And sometimes it hurts to be like, I can't even deal with you no more. I can't because the amount of energy I'm spending on you can go to 4
other
people.
Things.
I can give these 5 kids the energy that I'm giving to you.
And you're not even listening. You're not even feeling it.
You're not respecting it.
No.
You're not respecting it.
I hate that. I hate that, but it's also, I don't hate the kid. Of course not the kid, but I just hate it because
the mentality.
it's the mentality because that's the same mentality. Like, it's people, they learn that from somebody. They learn that from their parents or whoever. Like, and that's like, it's mental. We are our own obstacles.
Definitely.
You feel me? And it's too often folks want to blame it on somebody else. No, yeah, especially as people of color. Like, well, yeah, of course, racism is unfortunately, it's something that we deal with in the world. But we too often are our own obstacles. We are always our own obstacles whenever stuff goes wrong, and we don't look internally, right, to change before we, like, you did me wrong. They might have well done you wrong. Truth. Yeah. Real talk. But what can you do differently?
What's after that?
And that's when my life changed as well. When I realized that on top, like I said, as being a believer, like, God ain't waiting on me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not waiting on God. God waiting on me. You feel me?
You need to pick yourself.
Exactly.
I'm already here.
My child, I already have everything you want. I put it in your heart. Like, go get it. I'm my own obstacle.
Yeah.
I'm my own obstacle.
Yeah. Well, Bree, I'm so glad I got to talk to you.
Me.
It's been a long time since we saw each other.
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
I
appreciate you. This is what I want to do with this show. I want to spotlight people like you. I want to spotlight people who are directly affecting change. I have a theme song.
Ooh.
And she says, we're making positive change in the community.
I'm with it.
Because that's all I want to do. I don't want to come on here this every week or every day or whatever like that and talk about the drama of celebrities. I don't want to talk about
what's real to us.
I want to talk directly to somebody who is showing me positivity in the community.
I appreciate that.
I've had a black comic book artist. I've had black nutritionalists selling health pills and things like that. What I just want to show us.
So I appreciate that, yeah.
Because y'all doing it.
We doing it. We are doing it. We're doing it. Yeah.
So 2 things before we go. I like to close out all my episodes with, the diagnosis for the week for them to listen to. The diagnosis. Number 1. Stop saying, why me? And think us. It's we.
Yeah.
It's not just you. It's us.
Yeah, we together.
Number 2. See through the fluff. See through the fluff. See through, like, the illest thing I've ever heard. It was a Mad TV sketch, and it was a Dr. Phil. He said, "Don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining." That's the illest shit I've ever heard. Yeah. Because, man, they will tell you a lot of stuff that don't mean nothing.
Nothing. People gonna talk.
Empty calories.
Man, look at their actions. Look at people's actions. They tell you everything you need to know.
They'll show you exactly.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, look, you ain't even got it. They don't even have to say nothing. Just watch them.
Right.
Just watch them.
Number 3. Money buys education, not intelligence.
Facts.
You can have all the money in the world. That'll make you smart. That'll make you intelligent. Look at the people going through, all these rich people going through that college scandal.
Exactly.
Y'all paid all this money and your kid can't even live up to it.
Nah, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't. You set them up. They wasn't even there. That's not even for them. That's not even for them. It's not to say that they're not great in their own right. That just wasn't even for them.
Imagine you hooping your whole life. And, okay, we're going to accept Ivan because his parents put $30,000 down and he's taking your hoop scholarship. You'd be hot. I've been busting my ass hooping my whole life. I took all these batters and bruises, all these summer camps.
But also, just on that note too, I feel like the media be trying to like turn us against each other, thinking that they try to turn us into like the media. I feel like that, of course, they like enhance racial tension.
Oh, of course.
And so, what makes me think about this when I think about this college scandal, I personally it was wrong. It's no way to write this. It's wrong, right? That these folks is paying that way into a school. But how I look at it, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, was that the folks who was gonna get into school was gonna get into school,
Facts.
regardless of these folks.
Right.
It's just the fact that they wrong, and that was like an additional folks because they paid money.
Yeah.
They got quote unquote quotas at schools. Like they got folks. If you're gonna get in, you're gonna get in.
Right.
But that type of blight make you feel like that they spots was taken from somebody else. When in addition, they were just some extras with money, right? And it's still wrong. It's making it even more wrong, right? But that's why I feel like the media tries to increase racial tensions by making it seem like these wealthy white people took spots from some hard-working black and brown kids, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like the biggest trick is behind this. And I ain't saying that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, like I said, it's hot. It's what I believe. You know, I ain't forcing my opinion on anybody, but the media always do shit like that. We always try to increase racial tensions and stuff like that. So it's wrong, and I'm
like they was just some black kid who just didn't get in.
Exactly, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's not what
I saw some folks in Oakland, like, some that was on the news. So, like, we work hard to get into college, and they're just like a slap in the face to us. And, like, I feel them. I feel where they're coming from. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, like, if you work your ass off and you want to go to college, you're going to go to college regardless of these rich-ass white folks who paying their way. And trust me, I went to college with some folks who just legacies of some rich people. Stupid as fuck.
Yeah, and those families were given the bread. Exactly. They call them donors, like you said.
Exactly. Money buys education, not intelligence. Like, back to that. But yeah, that's wild.
And the last one, don't be your own obstacle. Get out of your own way so you can be great.
As my pastor would say, fire yourself. Fire yourself.
Talk about that.
Fire yourself. You got. I mean, honestly, I hate to quote my pastor because the man is like he say just some like just gems, just some godly game all the time. So I hate to like misquote him, but fire yourself is something that like we as a body, as our church, Birth Christian Fellowship, that's something that we've come to just understand as like I said, getting out the way. Let God do what he already done. You know what I'm saying? You getting in the way of greatness. You know what I'm saying? Don't be your own obstacle. Don't overthink what your purpose is. Just fire yourself. You know what I'm saying? Get out your own way. You holding yourself down. That's a Pastor Rickism. You know what I'm saying? I can't take credit for that. Fire yourself.
Number 5. Fire yourself.
There you go. There you go. Fire yourself. Yep.
And the last thing before we get out of here, Bree, will you lead us in prayer?
Oh, most definitely. I would love to. I would love to. You gonna hop in on this? We good. Right on. All right. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to come together to talk about just the goodness that you continue to do, and specifically for me, what you continue to do in my life and having me as a vessel to do your work. I just thank you for loving me first, for loving us first, Father God, so that we may know you. We pray that this broadcast gets out to ears and the right folks hear it, that they love it, that they're inspired, that Cheyenne gets like some of the dopest, most greatest folks to continue to come in and be a part of the positive message that he's trying to show. And we just thank you. We thank you for just the understanding. We thank you for the opportunity and the privilege for us to just work out our passion and do what it is that you have us to do, Lord. And I thank you. I love you. And give all thanks and glory to you, Lord. And if you're on agreement with it, through Jesus' name, I pray, amen.
Amen, I say.
Amen. Right on.
This has been a great episode, Bree. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Keep hope alive.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I got faith. I'm good. It's good. I appreciate you.
Yeah, keep helping our people, man. I'm going to do the same.
I appreciate you, most definitely. I already know.
Best man. It's another one.
Deuces.
I told you I had special guests. You want to be reached anywhere?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter and Facebook.
It's when a nigga come outside.
And you know, I gotta keep a balance. You know, I'm adaptable, so I gotta keep a balance. I'm on Instagram. Find me at Matilda_fresh. That's the same name for Twitter as well. And I'm on Facebook, Bree Decker.
Okay.
Appreciate y'all.
Best Med Pod, The Diagnosis, BESTMEDPOD, Best Med Pod, Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud. We here.
Good.
We near.
Hey.
And we out. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank y'all. That was dope. I appreciate that. I gotta go find it. I gotta follow you on Spotify.
Yeah.
I think I do that right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna start posting in April.
Oh, even better. You on there, right? You got a profile?
Yep.
For sure.
I'm all set up.
You set up under Best Mad?
Yep.
Yeah.